Hey everybody, welcome back to the Center Lane, a political discussion for those of us in the middle who want to have commonality, want our leaders to get along and get something done for us. Today's topic is going to be about the inevitable Republican nominee, Donald Trump's vice president pick. Now, first off, yes, I said inevitable Donald Trump nominee. He's at 61%. Even if everybody was a dropout, consolidate around one person, they're still not, as far as the Republican nomination goes, they're not going to get, they're just not going to get there. You know, if it was more open to like anybody could vote for the Republican nominee, then, you know, somebody like Nikki Haley would probably rise to the top. But that's not the case. And most Republican caucuses and voting goes to winner take all for the states. They get all the delegates. So any primary that goes on in certain states, most states actually, I think there's a couple where they actually split them up. Like if you got 60%, you got 60% of delegates. Most states are like, you win by 1%, you get all the delegates. There's just no way Namath's gonna be able to climb that hill and beat Trump. So that brings us to the question, who's gonna be his VP pick? I mean, a lot of people think he's gonna pick a woman, and I think he should, and he probably will. But, you know, he's an enigma. Who knows what he's gonna do, right? So let's start with some of the picks. I think some of the favored ones, I'll start with it first. I think one of them that's really been favored is Kristi Noem from South Dakota. She checks a lot of boxes for him. She's been very loyal, supportive, pretty strong conservative credentials. She has a long history of not only being governor, she also was in the state, and I think she was even a congressperson as well. So she's been around a while. Her national profile, is fairly decent. Bad thing about her is, for him, is that South Dakota has like 3 electoral votes. So if she carries that state woman in, versus getting a state where you could get a lot, like from a Florida or California or Texas, where you get a lot of electoral votes in the general. So she's not going to bring a lot of those electoral votes with her. But I think that she's poised and pretty solid and fairly well known. One thing that might hurt her too, I think, I was thinking about it the other day, was she might get some comparisons to Sarah Palin, which is not a good thing, by the way. And why? Because she's really into the hunting, and she posts a lot of things online about that. And I think that the Democrats are going to go, oh, look at, here comes Sarah Palin 2.0, because, Mama Bear, Hockey Mom, whatever. Not that she is that, but they're going to try to paint her as that. That might be something that might hurt her a little bit. I think she could overcome that, though. So that's my number one pick I think he's going to take. Staying with women, I can never say her name right. Alicia Stefanik. She's the Republican congresswoman from New York, and also head of the National Party. So she's a big advocate of his, a big cheerleader. She's young. She's only 39 years old. I guess people know her. I'm not sure that she carries enough weight as far as that goes. I mean, she's also in New York, but he's not going to carry New York. That's a Democratic state. That's a blue state. So her being from New York is not going to help him in that regard. That might be something against it, but she's extremely loyal, and she's one of the first persons that came to his, rushed to his side when he first was kind of climbing out of his hole from, a year ago, and he really wasn't looking like he might be the Republican nominee that he is today. I mean, it was a little more sketchy. DeSantis was right up there in the polling about a year ago, and she really lifted him in that regard, and cheerleaded for him. So, and he's a loyalty kind of a guy. So that would be a possibility. Third woman I thought would be up there, I think, was Sarah Huckabee Sanders, his previous press secretary when he was president. Now she's the governor of Arkansas. She, again, checks a lot of boxes for him, and she's very well known. The Huckabee name is well known. The only thing is, her popularity in Arkansas right now is not good. So it's underwater, which that's going to make it less attractive for him. And again, there's another state, Arkansas, that carries almost no votes, electoral votes, very small population state. That could be an issue. And the last woman on the list I put on there is Haley. And that's, 6 months ago, I openly thought and said, she's just trying out for VP. Now, her profile is raised a lot. It would be kind of a smart pick for him to pick her. But I don't, she definitely failed the loyalty test. And again, that's where he's at. He's got that loyalty gene in him. If you're not loyal to him, he carries a grudge, as we know. So that would hit to swallow his pride. Plus, he's been calling her bird brain. So so the Democrats, every chance they're going to get if it comes to the generals, they're going to have commercials of him calling her bird brain Haley or whatever, and that's that's not a name you want to get stuck with. Trump, he gets these little nicknames on people. People are stuck with him for a long time. So that could be a bad issue. But I mean, as far as a strong ticket would go, that'd be a strong ticket. Yeah, she'd catch some flack about, oh, you said you weren't running for BP, and blah blah blah. But she really doesn't dog him too much on the trail. She doesn't say a lot of negative things about him. Not really, not really. She thinks she'd be better than him. She says that, but at the end of the day, she kind of walks that line, that Magna line, a little bit. She doesn't want to alienate the Magna voters, and I get that too, I guess. So that would be someone that would be I'd almost call that a dark horse. Now, there's a couple guys out there, a couple men out there that I thought he may consider if he does go with the male VP pick, and one of them would be Tim Scott. Now, Tim Scott's been, he's got the evangelical vote thing going. He's very conservative. He didn't really dog Trump at all on the trail, and he didn't get a nickname. So I guess he's lucked out there, right? Can't think of a nickname like DeSantis got DeSanctimonious and Bird Brain and some of these other ones. So that might be someone. Maybe it carries some of the African American vote, perhaps. That's not a given. Although I'll say one thing. Trump is making inroads in that regard already by himself. I mean, he really is. A lot of especially African American males, are gravitating towards Trump. He's not to be underestimated. There's something he's got that. He puts a spell on people. For better or worse. I think it's for worse, but that's just my opinion. Another person he might be interested in, and I find it interesting because he's from Florida, is Byron Donalds. He's a black congressman right now, and I think, he's a big Trump supporter too, and he also went to bat for Trump in Florida first before any of the other candidates did when it was not that popular to go for him. So Trump's going to remember that. But I think that Donalds has really got his sights set on being the governor of Florida, running for governor in 26. So I think that's where he's going to go, and Trump's going to back him 100%. And he has a good shot. I mean, I think Donalds is pretty even keel guy. He's more moderate, and I think that he might make a good governor here too. I would be definitely looking at him. Of course, some of the other people that are going to run in 26, I can't stand, like Ashley Moody or AG or DeSantis' wife thinking about running. Like, no more clown shows. Let's get some real people that want to govern. So I'm kind of hoping he sticks around and goes for that. And of course, if Stephanie Murphy runs, my girl on the Democratic side, well, all bets are off. I'm in her camp all the way. But if the Democrats don't put somebody decent up, I would look at somebody like Donald. So anyways, that's another potential pick for Trump if he decides to go that route. Okay, now we had the people I think are like serious candidates that I would consider, and I think I would, God, come on, Trump. I mean, it's bad enough you're going to be running, I'm going to have to swallow that. But if you pick one of these next 3 or 4 people I'm about ready to mention, and God help us all. First one that comes to mind is Ramaswamy, Vivek or Vivek. I can't say his name, or Vivek. Ramaswamy, do not pick him. I know he's been licking your boots for the past 3 or 4 months, telling the world how great you are, and you like that. But man, don't do that. Don't pick him. He's Christie had it right. He's just an obnoxious, smug, guy who's not a serious person in a lot of ways. He has some decent ideas, but then he goes on crazy time. And then I think he's a guy that looks at himself in the mirror a lot, and in a not like he's looking inward, he's just looking outward at himself because he likes what he sees. So please don't pick him. Second one I'm begging you not to pick is Marjorie Taylor Greene. Come on, man, don't do that. Don't do that. She's I'm sure she's gunning. She probably bugs every day about it because they are friendly, and she would like nothing better, but that would be a disastrous pick for Trump. Not that I'm trying to give you political advice, because what do I know? But I think I know that much. Don't pick her. And then the last but not least, another one I'd like to throw darts at, I just can't stand, is Carrie Lake, another conspiracy theorist, trying to work upward mobility, zero experience running anything. She was a news lady for 20 years, and now she wants to be a senator. And hopefully she doesn't make it there. The governor thing was a disaster with her, and the way she just kept making up stuff and, conspiracy theory here, there, and everywhere. So don't pick her. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm thinking. Anybody's got any other people out there throughout that you think you might consider? I'd certainly like to hear about it. I'm thinking Kristi Noem's the one that's going to get it. I do. She's got a lot of. She has the poise. She's got the experience. She's too conservative for me, but she would appeal to a lot of people. I don't know. I think because honestly, and I keep thinking about Trump, and every time I think about him, I think of differently. He's not as he's a little more, I don't want to say center lane, but he's not as hardcore right as like a DeSantis is or someone. So she might balance out and put some mind at ease to some of the people that are really conservative that don't know about Trump. With her being VP, I think that she would probably set them at ease. So that's my thoughts on it. If you guys got anything else you want to add to it, that'd be great. I'd love to hear from you. And we're dealing with a semi-tropical storm here in Florida right now, so I'm going to batten down the hatches. You guys have a great day and happy holidays.